Have you ever wondered exactly what's inside of a filter dryer on an air conditioning system, also called an accumulator? Well, I took one off of a 98 Corvette yesterday and we're going to cut it apart and find out. Should have some kind of filtering system since they call it a filter dryer, and it should have some kind of desiccant bag in there to absorb moisture, but we're going to see exactly what's in there. Here's the little canister in question. Should be able to take it over to the bandsaw and hopefully cut around here and get it separated. The other reason this thing is called both a filter dryer and an accumulator is because it sets up right in the vehicle like this, and it comes off, one line comes off of your evaporator. So your high pressure condensed liquid flows into the evaporator. It should all evaporate, and that pulls the heat out of the air. That gives you the cool air in there, in the car. Then the refrigerant flows into this in a gas form. And if there happens to be any residual liquid in there, it will accumulate in the bottom until it can evaporate off. Because after this, it goes over to your compressor, and you can't compress liquid, so you don't want any liquid going to your compressor. So that's why they call it an accumulator. It accumulates any liquid still in the line after the evaporator. So let's cut it open. I think I'll cut the two fittings off first, just so I can roll it around on the bandsaw and just cut the outer edge. All right, let's see what we got in here. That's just an empty cup there, which I'm going to save that, but I can use that for something at some point. All right, here we got the desiccant material. Same kind of stuff you'd find in a new pair of shoes or whatever, but that will absorb moisture. That's another reason to change these, is because these things can only hold so much before they're no longer efficient. Now, tube goes down. Interesting. As we can see, that tube loops in there. This hole here just flows uninterrupted right into the canister. And you have this filter material here at the bottom. And then this port here at the end of the tube goes to your compressor as a low pressure gas. So I'm going to run back over to the bandsaw and cut this tube off so we can see what's on the other end of that. Well, this is kind of different from what I had envisioned. I figured it was filtering the entire flow of the refrigerant. You know, and this is positioned like this. Refrigerant comes in here. It would accumulate any liquid there at the bottom. And this pipe is set like that. The top is just a funnel looking piece. There's nothing in the lines. So that sets like that, and this filter goes around this solid piece of pipe, and the only opening is that little tiny hole there. And this would be, I mean, the compressor is pulling on this assembly, because this is the inlet to the compressor. So I guess they put that on there for anything down in the bottom, liquid-wise, got pulled into the line, it would go through the filter. That's not much of a filtering system. But the desiccant will do what it's supposed to. It will absorb any moisture since it was saddled all around this. But yeah, that filter just would pull through that small hole there. I do suppose most of the debris, if it had like any metal in the system, would accumulate in the bottom of this canister. But it's certainly not doing what I should say is, if you got debris in your system, changing this is not going to filter it all out. Certainly doesn't look like it. I mean, it'll catch whatever settles in there, I suppose. Now, one other piece. Another assembly in that air conditioning system is this little job right here, which is called an Orifice tube. And it has You can see that little brass pipe in the middle. It's got a certain orifice size on the inside, and that meters all of the refrigerant flow. And it's got screens on both ends to keep any debris out. But all of the coolant, or all of the refrigerant, goes through this. So this does catch any debris that would be in the system. Problem with that is that orifice tube's not very big. It's not like a car oil filter. It's got a lot of capacity, and that was what was wrong with this air conditioning system on this car. Somewhere it had had the compressor changed, and I don't know if the compressor was, they had told me that it was the clutch, but there may have been something coming apart on the inside of the compressor, because that orifice tube was coated in aluminum flaky looking material, and it had plugged it up so the system wasn't flowing, and that's why the air conditioner wasn't working. So I flushed everything out, put a new orifice tube in, and a new filter dryer, and for now it's working fine. It may plug up again, depending on how much was still in the compressor, but for now it's working good. But yeah, if you're a refrigerant guy and have more knowledge about how that little filter is supposed to, or what it's supposed to do with that little pinhole, drop a comment on the video. I'm curious. But now we know that it flows in, collects in the bottom, goes back out the top. So if you was ever curious about that, now you've seen the inside of one. I've changed many of them. This is the first one I've cut apart. Like and subscribe if you want to keep up on these videos, and thanks for watching.